Oh, this looked interesting. PG movies are more mature.
Can someone help me
than
understand why
R.
the latest Puss in Boots movie had me feeling entirely more anxious and invested?
I
in the
can kind of
Black
agree with
Phone?
this lately.
A movie where literal children get got by Ethan Hawke, or Scream 5, or Ambulance. Remember Ambulance?
Danny, everybody knows how.
I don't feel like in general over all movies, but I feel like lately in movies, actually, what's come out recently? Everything Everywhere All at Once was the winner for a bunch of shit last year. Or this year. I don't remember. I just know it was a big one. People keep talking about it. Yeah, I don't know. I'd say even that versus like Spider-Man and Puss in Boots. Spider-Man especially. I really like the new Spider-Man Across the Spider... I really like that one a lot. Yeah, man. They've just been kind of slapping. Like the feelings like hitting harder, especially like the Across the Spider-Verse. Something that like really hits for me in that is something that really hits for me in like some like Boogie Nights. The color, like envelopment with the feeling, the way it just like embellishes and gets in, cuts in and twines and like feels it out. Like there'll be blots that kind of blot into each other to give like a feeling. Like one side will be blue and the other's red, and then it comes together and it makes a little like fucking LGG3 type wallpaper. And it's like, it's beautiful.
Or why Across the Spider-Verse was
And it's like stuff that you can't really do on film.
somehow more mature and genuinely funny in its writing than House Party, or Cocaine Bear, or the new Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Being canceled, bro.
Cancelled.
Or why Coraline, a movie that's more than a decade old, made nearly $5 million in 2 days when it was back in theaters for a weekend this year. That's half the profit of The Machine. That movie cost $20 million.
I still don't. I still don't understand this movie, cause like the story is a really good story. But, like the way they turn it into the movie off of like just seeing the poster seems wild.
That movie
That
cost
shit's
$20
crazy.
million to make, and it had Luke Skywalker.
Instant dub.
People love Coraline. YouTube loves Coraline.
True.
I love Coraline. The sky is blue, and I'm slowly
It's a
dying.
good movie. It's classic.
But what does this mean? Do these edgy, bloody, R-rated movies just not have enough realistic portrayals of panic attacks? I don't know. First, stop giving Michael explosives and force him to write a script more than a page long. I don't know how to fix the rest of them. I think that is what it comes down to in the end though. The writing. Kind of like no matter how beautiful someone is on the outside, if their inside is all poorly written and full of plot holes and all gross and then it doesn't matter in the end.
I can fix her.
Back, Cheryl. I mean, look at Coraline, for example. Freaking YouTube content goldmine over here. I swear, YouTube Coraline 5 years from now, and I bet it'd be hard to find anything out now. But there's a reason for that. It's well written, it's compelling, and I think
Well, Brain Blast.
animation might have
Oh,
something
wow.
to do with it. Push down your chicken nuggets and juice. I'm not about to say all animated movies are good. That's actually the opposite of the truth.
Father, when can I leave?
What the
to be
hell
on
is
my
that?
own?
Oh
I mean,
no!
most animated
That-
movies are so bad.
Bro.
you never even-
Bro, I was talking to somebody on some random app. I don't remember which one. And she was like, we were talking about what movies you should watch when you're like a cake. And I was like, yo, what should I watch? And she was like some random Pinocchio with the guy from Benchwarmers and a whole bunch of random motherfuckers. Like, yeah, it's just main guy is Napoleon Dynamite or some shit, and it's fucking crazy.
Hear about them. It's like
I didn't watch it, but I saw the trailer and I was just fucking brain blasted by that.
listening to your college roommate's rap
It's
song
just
on
crazy.
SoundCloud that has 53 plays, but he swears it's gonna blow up. But he needs you to cover for his McChicken, and he promises he's
It
gonna
might have been,
rent you soon. To be fair, animation and children go hand in hand, like peanut butter and sadness. And children don't care about anything. As long as bright shapes are moving on a screen an inch from their face, they're happy. And everyone wonders why we all want to be kids again. Everything Everywhere All at Once had one of the smallest
Look.
budgets of any Oscar.
Boom! Alright, what we got? This is the movies. I still need to watch this. Avatar. Banshees of the Irishman. I actually like had a weird feeling when watching this the first time. I was like, yeah, they're saying a lot of things, and there's a lot of things that are happening that have a lot of context, but I was like, really that interesting, and I really like Colin Farrell and this guy. I really like their collab. Like, In Bruges is fucking a masterpiece. That shit goes hard. But at first, this was like it had to like sink in a little bit, and now I think it's a lot better than when I first watched it. But even this versus the animation movies that are in mine, the three hitters: Coraline, Spider-Man Across the Verse, and Puss in Boots. I don't think that it doesn't fucking beat it. No way. All Quiet on the Western Front. No fucking way. Everything Everywhere All at Once. No fucking.
Nominee, and it felt like the biggest and most ambitious movie. It also swept at the Oscars. I don't care what anyone says, that movie is awesome and deserves all the praise it gets.
Oh, yeah, it's pretty cool. People just
Why
mad.
is that? Does it have to do with the fact that it was shot in under 40 days, or the entire effects team was made up of just 6 people? I knew the jets weren't real. Spider-Verse doesn't feel like it's written for a PG movie script. It's what happens when animation forces you to nail down every microsecond of a film, similar to the way a tight
Bro,
budget
there's
or
so
small
much good
VFX team,
dialogue.
like being the broke boy.
There's so much dialogue that I just can't stop thinking about from that movie. I think they just like encapsulated so well that it's like important messages throughout life that you forget or that you should know. Like that moment's his mom's like, you're gonna go places and you're gonna see people and they're not gonna be looking out for you the way they will. It just felt like some shit my mom said to me, like before I went to like high school or some shit, or like a job, whatever the fuck, back in the days and shit. Like when I hear that shit, I'm like, I think of my mom. I'm like, fuck. And then there's that one thing where I'm gonna do my own thing. Bro, that fucking line goes so hard. Like it's just, and I'm not even like, I'm a Spider-Man fan, but I'm not fucking. I don't really know what it was. I'm fucking.
I am. I know exactly how many.
Like, I still think there's better films than Spider-Man, but bro, that's just that Across the Spider-Verse straight like stole a lot of spots because the script is fucking gorgeous. There's so many like little innuendos, especially with like someone like Hobby when he's like growing with Miles. He's like, calm down, and he's like, put your hands. Like that reminds me of like a relationship that I had with someone like high school. Like he just knew, he knew like where I was and like how to manage it. And then it was like, oh shit, wait, he might be onto something. It's like, oh shit, like it's just, I don't know. I feel like this shit was been hard. There's so many more moments.
Efficiency. Just kidding. I don't have a car. Anyway, all I'm trying to say is sometimes
and then
having
Puss in Boots too, like
of resources
that shit's
and time can lead
stupid.
to a less inspired and cohesive project. Look at like the last 7 Fast and Furious movies, guys. Especially you, Phil.
That shit
You
is
can't
silly.
deny the recent revival of adult animation in the past few years, though, especially in the West. Cyberpunk Edge Runners had me sobbing more than the death of my first pet. And Love, Death, Robots has some truly incredible episodes. Things like this are really cool to see, and I hope Western media continues with this tradition. Arcane was so good, it made me reinstall League of Legends.
I've heard.
Hell, even Adventure...
I've heard. I've never seen this, but I've heard. I always felt like this, even growing up. Like, I always thought it was weird. Animation was just kid stuff. Like, I always, as a kid, really liked horror movies. I just remember growing up when my mom would like put on movies, and like it would be between either we're watching a scary movie or we're watching an animation movie. I was like, why can't we just do both? And then Coraline came out, and there were some other ones, but nothing really like it. There was like Courage the Cowardly Dog was a big helper. Scooby-Doo. There was one when I was a kid that just, I don't know, for some reason. Oh, it was because it was the Alien VHS tape, because it had Courage the Cowardly Dog with a Return the Slab at the end of it. That shit always scared me when I put it in. Like every time I put it in, I was like, all right, I'm about to get fucking spooked. But other than that, the choices were very, very like small.
Time just got its own adult spin-off in a way, where the ice...
And honestly, even now, it's still really small, but there's more... I feel like there's more stuff on YouTube. It's like, I feel like we need to grow this section. Like, bro, it's such a good media to like grow monsters. Like some HP Lovecraft shit is literally perfect for this type of fucking shit. Like,
King is a depressed
I mean,
alcoholic, and Finn is more
Didn't you eat
depressed than
too?
his best friend Jake. Isn't
Like,
being an
come on,
adult
man.
awesome? The real boss of this whole equation, though, is Studio Ghibli.
Studio Ghibli.
I swear,
Spirited
they make
Away
their movies
goes hard.
solely based on the graph of how much can we scar this child and keep it within a PG rating. Parents
Actually,
turn into pigs within the...
Spirited Away, I heard for some kids was scary growing up. I remember some people considering this a scary movie. Some people would consider this one
First 10 minutes? That's cool. Definitely didn't
I
make me
wouldn't,
cry and
but-
beg my parents to come pick me
Yeah,
up
fair.
from Brian's 10th birthday party just to make sure they weren't pigs themselves. Besides straight up having some imagery that is so just not PG, the plots themselves are also written in a far more mature manner than most Western animated kids movies. Pinocchio wants to set out and be a real boy for 3 times in the same year for some reason. All good and fun, lighthearted, super kid friendly.
You will burn.
That's hot!
Okay, I'm gonna ignore that one for now. You got me there, Del Toro. But you get my point. For the most part, these animated
Oh, yeah,
PG
apparently that shit goes
Disney-flavored
hard.
movies
I need
are
to watch
pretty
that.
cookie-cutter.
The Del
Then comes
Toro
in Miyazaki,
Pinocchio.
swearing to scar any child who crosses his path. Meet a friendly wizard with a traveling house. Fun, cool. More of that, please. War crimes. Find yourself in a new dimension with crazy looking characters and bright colors? Eat this food or you will literally stop existing. It's refreshing to see, honestly, and one of the main reasons all of these movies are so popular decades past their release at this point. This is what these movies share with Spider-Verse and Last Wish. A compelling narrative, not concerned about the rating of the movie keeping it contained. Another thing, I mean really this video should have been called Very Specific Animated PG Movies Are Better Than Most R-Rated Studio Cash Grabs, but I had to get you in here somehow, didn't I? Let me back up and get out of PG land for a second.
Or Shark Boy and Lava
Does
Girl.
The movies I listed at the
Oh
top
my.
of the video barely justify their
Well, that was a wild one.
Cocaine Bear, for example.
Bro, I actually remember vividly going to see this movie in 3D with my mom and my brother. With the fucking... Bro, they even... At the special premiere, you could choose between pink, lava... It pretty much just looked like the suit, like, type glasses. Or you could get the Shark Boy, which kind of looks like the suit. But actually, they're kind of...
And get out
Maybe it's just nostalgia biasing, but those things are pretty fucking sick. Let's see if I can find this.
of PG land for a second.
Tender cookies and milk.
Because the movies I listed at the top of the video barely justify their R rating at all. I mean, Cocaine Bear, for example.
Oh, here it is. Oh wait, that doesn't look right. I don't remember I'm looking like that. Were they not encrusted? It was only the sides. Oh damn, wait, I remember it looked way better than that. Damn. That's that nostalgia vision, yo. But that looks worse than I thought. That one looks worse than I thought. That one looks worse than I thought too. A shame it didn't come out like these. God damn. Wait. Ooh. Okay, it's a little better. Wait. Oh yeah, because it's just so low res. Alright, you know, alright, you know, they still hold up. They still hold up. They hold up.
I understand this movie was never supposed to be taken too seriously or anything, but hey, I'd take anything seriously for $35 million. And you'd expect it to live up to the expectations it
This
sets
movie's
up.
kinda
Maybe
weird.
A bunch of swearing from some local hillbillies, brutal kills from a bear who's feeling like Elvis in his prime time. But that never really happens. The kills aren't anything to write home about, and the plot, well...
And it was weird. This movie is so weird, because while it is kind of fun, for what it is, like, you kind of expect exactly what it is once you hear it. You're like, Cocaine Bear, yeah, that thing's probably going to go crazy. If it's rated R, that thing's going to go a little extra crazy. But, like, they didn't really push beyond extra crazy. They just sat at that line that you kind of expect. It's like, yeah, the bear's gonna... Except for one part. There was one part that I clearly remember everybody dying laughing at was the ambulance scene where the thing just goes fucking flying. Like,
Oh, it's the title. Or the
Hell
bad
yeah.
phone, which the more I think about it, is
Other than that,
eerily
it was
similar
like
to
you could
Coraline,
guess.
You know, with the whole talking to dead kids thing. As far as I can remember, though, nothing really happens in the movie to justify the R rating, other than the subject matter being so dark itself. I'm well aware of the fact that most R-rated movies do have realistic and substantial gore. I mean, have any of us really ever recovered from Midsummer? Fuck. But I'm
That
not
shit
here
is
to
kinda
talk
hard.
about that. I just find it funny that in the past few years, especially in the West, animation has become a much more mature and well-written medium, while movies with a more adult rating end up being much more childish in their scripts
Bro.
and plots. There's nothing.
which is why The Last Ronin should be in consideration. Actually, you know what? I've thought about this. I've kept saying The Last Ronin should be cooked, but I think maybe we hold off. I think the world knows. I think we should hold it. Like, all these animation movies are coming out and they're being well written. They're being very well graphic and put together. I feel like after the next Spider-Man comes out, see the state of animation, and then boom, get an idea of landscape, and then break it. Just fucking break it. Like,
Just their scripts and
look at it all. Look at it all and say, "Wow, this is nice. I'm just gonna fuck this up."
Not every movie can be good. Not every movie can be the
in the best way.
That is Moonfall.
Moonfall. Oh no.
We have to go back to the moon. You have to see what's going
This
on.
movie, man.
Remember the ending of Avengers Endgame, or The Flash, or the new Ant-Man? I bet if I were to take a still frame from each movie out of context, it would be kind of hard to tell the difference. Okay, except for the Flash movie. I'm not gonna harp on this too much, but man, nothing screams epic climax like a barren PlayStation 2 desert. I think the term visual diarrhea might be a bit harsh, but it's the first thing I thought of. Going back to my earlier point, sometimes having all the money, talent, and resources in the world can certainly lead to a more conflated and bland product.
George
Animation,
Lopez.
on the other hand, can't avoid this problem. Well, good
Oh, look
animated
at that!
movies, at least.
Like, even something like that. This is the first movie, though. Even the first movie, they started off the first movie pretty well with it, but the second movie, I feel like they advanced it so much harder. Like, it melds into each other so much better. The transitions are so hard. But even this, from Prowler colors to Spider-Man colors, is very nice.
In bland product. Animation, on the other hand, can avoid this problem. Well, good animated movies at least. I'm not playing any more clips from Pinocchio. It leads to a uniqueness and
it's Pauly Shore. That's who's also in that movie. Bro, just look at the poster for this thing.
animated movies at least. I'm not playing any.
Pauly Shore, John Heder, and Tom King. I'm not too sure by name who these are, but Pauly Shore and Pinocchio is wild.
From
That's
Pinocchio.
wild.
It leads to a uniqueness and distinct look that, by nature,
Oh, you know what is actually mature animation movies that actually weren't really in around the North America, really. Kind of a shame. It took more of a while to get shit like Akira and Ghost in the Shell. That was kind of the only things holding up like mature animation back in the day.
is harder to replicate in live-action movies.
Oh yeah, here we go, bro. I can't believe I forgot about these when we were talking about early animations. This is probably kings of it, man. Shit.
It's not to say there aren't thousands of examples of extremely stylized.
Like, while Coraline, I like Coraline, I don't think anything's ever made me think harder than fucking Akira this year. Like, and I've thought about a lot of things. I read like No Longer Human 2 days ago. That's still dwindling. That shit was dark. But yeah, I don't know. Akira literally pops up like every day since I've read it. Like
thousands of examples of extremely stylized
That shit's
live-action
crazy.
movies, such as Blade Runner 2049, all of the John Wicks, or the previously mentioned Everything Everywhere All at Once. Funnily enough, though, the same argument could have been made for pretty much all Western animated movies up until Spider-Verse in 2018. Before this, the Pixarification of the media had led most projects and studios to pursue a photoreal look, losing some of the character and style animation offers in the first place. Don't worry, this isn't going to turn into the 100th YouTuber video essay on how Spider-Verse changed animation forever, but it's certainly worth pointing out. I mean, I haven't even brought up the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie, but it's wearing its influences on its sleeve. This isn't a
True.
dig at all. I'm just happy to see that 5 years later,
Very nice.
stylized animation is still going just as strong, if not even more so. I think Deadpool had a lasting impact on studios going for that art.
I think TMNT is a good good way to show off how to take a popular style and utilize it to their own advantage. Like, I've said this a lot, but I appreciate TMNT a lot. But I appreciate the way they edited this movie and affected this movie. Like, they versus how what I'm bringing up a lot in Spider-Man, how the emotions mix in with the colors and shit. With TMNT, they kind of play it to where how those indications of popping out a comic book are in Spider-Man. TMNT just takes that vibe and just pushes it even more, I feel like. Like, everything from the background billboards to the, like, iPhones to the people's faces to just every little product and shit just feels more like a comic book animation.
This isn't a dig at all. I'm just
Which
happy
is
to see
cool.
that 5 years later, stylized animation is still going just as strong, if not even more so. I think Deadpool had a lasting
It's like its
impact on
own style
studios
in a
going
way.
for that
It
R-rated
stole
to
a style,
attract new
but it's
kind of
its own
audience.
style,
We all know the Joker,
which is good.
the highest grossing R-rated movie of all time, was an excellent movie that definitely didn't attract any sort of controversy or negative criticism. Whereas studios used to push for a PG-13 rating to cast the widest net, I think it's flipped a bit, where edgy and gory content is being consumed more now than ever. My 11-year-old cousin saw the newest Batman in theaters featuring some very Saw-esque like traps, and he said the movie was good and that he
It's good.
liked it. I don't know if it's me or what, but I still have nightmares from
It
when
just said it's
10-year-old
good.
me snuck in and saw Prometheus in theaters.
That's
Yeah,
it.
that scene.
Surgical procedure to begin.
Let's just say I'm never getting into a tanning bed. Okay, let me get back
That's
on
just
topic.
gross.
I've made my points. You've managed to stop consciously existing for the last 9 minutes or so, so I'd say this is a win-win. More of this, please. Less of this.
Right. Yeah, ambulance was kind of weird too. I forgot about that one. Not my favorite jig.